Hello and welcome to my channel. First of all, thanks to all the new subscribers. This is not, very clearly by the title, not an 8 passengers video. I wanted to take a break also because, oh my god, I don't know if you see the comments. Who doesn't? Crazy. I mean, that'd be crazy to have the type of following that they're just like, oh my gosh, I can't believe it. It baffles me and I want to move on from it now after sharing my community post. I want to talk about creators who are taking their kids off the internet because if you are on YouTube like myself, you see that people suddenly stop showing their kids, but they literally never address it. They either start to blur out their face or show the back of them or their hands or their feet or something like that, but they never, ever share why they did it. And Aspen posted a video from Aspen and Parker. If you don't know who she is, I've been watching her since like just before COVID, and then I haven't really watched her a lot lately. I just wasn't into her content. I just found her like relatable for like mom life type stuff. She did a video a month ago titled Answering Your Questions That I Am Avoiding or that I've been avoiding, and one of the questions was about not showing her kids, and I found it very interesting. So I'm just gonna kind of provide some commentary on it, but mainly just play it for you to see like what you think. Definitely go to her channel and watch the whole video. I found it very interesting, and she gave like some really real answers. So let's watch it together.
Next question. There was a million questions about the girls. I feel like I kind of avoid those a little bit too. It says, will you be showing things? Do you get the girls still, like clothes, toys, gifts, parties, etc.? Feel like I want to say no, because I don't know, even just getting so many questions about them in this Q&A, like how are they doing, what's their personality like, and all these different things, makes me want to just like not show anything of them, because with not showing them, I don't want people like asking about them. And obviously it makes sense why people ask about them, but I feel like I just don't want to share a lot of that stuff. And then if I was sharing like some things about them, or I shared like a picture where I had their faces covered, which I don't really like that approach that much. I'm not saying I won't do it ever, but that's not really my plan to like.
See, this is what I was just talking about, was when you kind of blur their faces and stuff. So I talked about in a previous video how I went through like an internal battle of if I was going to share my family online. And then what actually did it for me was when I had my first child in 2020, I posted his name online and then like his birth stats and everything. And something triggered in me. Like I just got freaked out. I didn't get any really messages. People were just like excited for me, but something being postpartum, it just triggered it in me and I just could not. So I posted, I think my account was public at that time. I made it private right away. And then I just like made everything private and then did close friends on Instagram. And then it just eventually stopped showing my family online, besides a couple of my YouTube videos lately, but you can only see like the back of them and stuff. But even then I was like struggling internally because I wanted to grow on YouTube. I want to share my family and just my life being an IVF mom, but I constantly had this internal battle. So for me, like I wonder what she went through. Like I feel like she must have got some sort of creepy message or something, because even me, I'm like not even a creator, honestly. At that time, I think I had like 300 to 400 subscribers when I posted my birth video, and I got the creepiest freaking messages on Instagram. Instagram's like literally the worst. Okay, I'll share it in a future video, like why I'm debating on deleting my birth video and why I even filmed one in the first place and put it on YouTube. So if you're interested in that, the perspective from someone who actually shared one and it will talk about it and I'm not monetized, then I will share that with you. But let's continue watching.
Post my normal photos and just cover their faces, but the picture that I posted we take in the same spot every single year at the beach, and I tried to get one with both of them like looking away and we didn't, and then they were just like kind of being crazy, so I didn't get one with just me and Parker. So I wanted to post one, so I was like, okay, let me just like see how I feel about putting like an emoji over their faces and posting it. And I just like don't really like that. Again, I'm not saying I won't do it ever, but I feel like I see a lot of people take that approach where they're still like posting things they would normally post, but they just cover the kid's face. And I'm like to the point now where I've tried that out a couple times, just don't love it, and I feel like I would just rather not share anything of them or anything about them. So I feel like that kind of includes clothes, toys, gifts, party, like everything on here. I feel like maybe I would still share their clothes sometimes, like if I get a package in the mail and want to show you guys something cute that I got, or if we have a toy that they're like really obsessed with, because I know so many of you guys are moms too and have kids that are like similar age.
And then she could totally link it. I'm not meaning like hate to her, but like that is true. Like influencers share products so that they can link them, right? Like, well, it is helpful. It is super helpful that they share it too. It's like, why don't they make a commission? But that is the real honesty, is so that she can make money on it.
to mine, or we've like gone through pregnancy together and different things like that. So I don't know, I'm kind of just still figuring out what I feel comfortable sharing from that. But just as time has gone on with me not showing them, and then still getting questions about like, wait, why did you post this? Why did you do that? I'm like, I would rather just not have anything of them online, like going forward. Basically, I'm still kind of figuring out like what I feel comfortable with that. But the next question says, do you wish you kept the girls offline from the start? And I kind of do. I think I still would have posted like a little bit, but I definitely would have shared so much less. I wouldn't have shared pictures of like just them. I went through and took down a bunch of pictures that are like pictures of—
Amazing. Good for her, right? Good for her for actually taking down videos and pictures of her kids. Like, I guarantee it, okay? I shouldn't say guarantee, but she probably got some creepy ass messages, okay? This had to have happened. Just her look and her demeanor right now is totally different than Aspen I've seen in the past. I think that she must have got creepy messages for sure. And so I can see why she made that massive shift, and why she also feels uncomfortable answering the questions. Because like, if you're used to showing your kids and you suddenly don't show them, and just because you're like, oh, maybe I'm not going to make that choice anymore. I just don't want to share them, blah, blah, blah. You know, something so relatively innocent. I think what actually happened was she got a bunch, probably not just one, a bunch of creepy messages, and it freaked her out so bad that she went on a full deletion. And then she also just decided, I'm not going to share it. And then so having questions now, even if it's like well-meaning, she's like, is this person a creep? Are they someone who's like sexualizing my child? You know, like that could have happened. So, I mean, good for her, but I see why she like looks different on her face. And then, I mean, I just paused it on the creepy spot, but something serious happened that she's not sharing, which she doesn't have to share, but it's very clear something happened because the big wipeout, right? A lot of people just stopped showing, but because she wiped them out, something happened. My suspicion.
Just them, like from Instagram or from whatever. I took down different TikToks. I can't take down every post of them just because some of them are sponsored, and you can't really like take down sponsored content, and it's already out there. Like, people have—
Okay, so I didn't know that. When I heard her say this before, I was like, what? But it makes sense. But at the same time, I would, if it were me, I would like go back and check the contract, and then also reach out to the brand to find out if you can in fact delete it. And then the excuse she's about to say, which I just cut it at that point, which you're going to hear, is that it's already on the internet. You know, internet's forever. Like, that's everyone's classic excuse. Internet's forever. Someone might have already downloaded it. Blah 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 blah. Who cares? Like, don't be that source. If it's out there, then it's out there. But delete it, you know, like, but the thing is, it's going to take off like how many millions of views off their channel. Like, you can see when a creator's delete videos, because it like has a huge dip on Social Blade. I think that's the only place you can see it. There's been like a drop off, right? So that's really why, right? It's the money, why she's not taking it down, is my suspicion. I feel like I have to say this all because of the hate I got on my previous video, but if you're a commentary channel, if you're watching a commentary channel, you know that the person you're watching is just giving their opinion. It doesn't make it fact, okay? So I'm not going to say my opinion anymore. You know it's my opinion. So that's what it is.
Seen it, and the point is that they now don't see them. So like, as they grow and change and their faces change and whatever, it's different. But I definitely, like, I used to just go through my camera roll at the end of the day when Cove was like a baby, and I would just like post my favorite pictures of her on my story. And I hate that I did that, because it's just like, those are my personal moments with her. And
but when you're a mom postpartum, you have all these feelings. You love your baby so much. You're also dealing with like the hormones and stuff. I understand what she's saying, because I'm not freshly postpartum. I'm 10 months postpartum, but I understand those feelings, because even now with my daughter, I think she's so cute, and I just want to post pictures of her on my Instagram, and I have like no followers on there. And I like never post, but I want to post pictures of my children and show how cute they are. But it's just like, then the reality hits in my brain. But fresh postpartum me like wants to post things, but then I just don't do it anyways. But yeah.
wish I had shared like a lot less. Yeah, I definitely would have done things differently if I could go back, but I think it's just like, as time has gone on, my perception has changed on everything. Just as I get older, and just as they get older too, and thinking about what I have shared, I definitely would have shared like a lot less. Are you still breastfeeding? And if not, how do you feel? No, I stopped breastfeeding when Lola, I think—
Okay, don't even react to that. So that is so interesting. Hey, it's like, it's not surprising, but I think something happened. So comment below. Do you think something happened? Do you watch Aspen and Parker? Have you like wondered why she's not showing her kids, or did you even see this video? But I'd be interested to hear your thoughts. And now let's get into the next person, who's like, she's literally one of my favorite people to watch like ever. So let's get into this. Okay, so if you don't know Brittany Balyn, she's been on YouTube for like, I don't know, over 10 years. I only really started watching her during COVID, and that's when she gained like her massive popularity. And then she actually made a video. She's literally the only influencer I've ever seen do this. Correct me if I'm wrong. And she made a video that is titled "Not Posting My Child on the Internet Anymore" from a mom influencer, because that's what she is. She stopped showing her daughter. But one thing I find interesting about Brittany is that she says Brittany Balyn, Brittany's her first name, that Balyn is her like stage name, you know, like internet presence name, but she's shared her daughter's real name. So that's kind of like gives me the ick. But to each their own, obviously, but this is just me talking. So let's watch Brittany's video and see that she actually addressed it, and this is why people stop sharing. This is why. Oops.
Us into the monumental personal moments that changed my opinion to the mom I am now. Number one being the parasocial relationship in real life. Now, remember my story before, and why I explained it is so much of it was not real. We were
Okay, so go back and watch her video because it's really good. I just cut to the part that was like the alarm bell kind of part, which a lot of influencers go through, and why they take their child off and why they don't discuss it, but she actually discusses it, and she does it in a sense and enough way that hopefully that person won't get offended.
Really living in a real world at that time. I was not leaving my house. I was not being recognized. I was not being able to take my kid to mommy and me classes, gym classes, dance classes, school. It was very different. And please do not take this the wrong way. I absolutely adore the relationship that blossomed between me and other mothers, and again, it carried me through some really dark times, and I know for a lot of you it did as well. But it wasn't until I realized the implications of the real life impact of a parasocial relationship. I am not blaming anyone for coming up and saying hi, because it was 100% of the time the sweetest interactions. One of my closest friends now, I met in line with my daughter, and she was with her daughter. We were getting donuts, and she, you know, was like, I watched your videos. Thank you so much for sharing your postpartum body experience.
So this is like super good she's sharing this, because she doesn't want to like hurt her following now, because I think she would lose a ton of subscribers if she made it sound like it was super horrible and super awful and this person was so creepy and scary. So it's really good that she's talking about this. It's strategic and smart, obviously, because then hopefully it will not offend many of her viewers. I'm sure it might offend some, but you can't please everybody on the internet.
Experience and all the real and raw of what really happens and occurs, you know, post-birth. You see me, like, I really do appreciate these relationships. It was one specific moment that altered my brain chemistry. If this mom is watching this, you did not do anything wrong. This is a situation in which I created. It just in the way it happened flipped something in my brain, and honestly, I want to say thank you. What happened was we were recognized at a class we were taking, and she was so sweet, such a lovely mom. She was very respectful, said very sweet things. What happened was so small, and that was she said hi to my daughter by name. And
so this is why people should stop freaking sharing their kids' names online, okay? I don't share my kids' names. Like, people have to stop doing this. I'm not saying I'm the best person. People have to stop doing it, okay? Just stop doing it. Like, even when I see people post on, like, say there's name lists on TikTok, I see that kind of stuff all the time, and I see one of my kids' names mentioned. Sometimes I'm like, because I think my kids' names are rare-ish, I think I want to comment, but I never do, because I don't want anyone knowing my kids' names. Okay, sorry, I got really loud. I should not have my mic on. This is why you should not share your kids' names. So she has hidden her name. I found it in like 2 seconds when I Googled what her real name was. But she shared her daughter's name. And so that's creepy. And if I were her, I would delete my content, because then no one will eventually know her daughter's name. Eventually. Unless they do a lot of like digging, right?
Again, a situation I completely created. The thing that flipped a switch though is that this was an innocent and sweet interaction, but there are awful people out there, and my child is so young, and I don't know at what point kids can fully understand, one, what it is I do, but strangers in general, and to have a stranger be able to know your child by name and say hi to them is alarming, because
So I want to cut there for a second. I have a situation like this with a girl that I guess we're more acquaintances. We're not really friends, but we follow each other on Instagram. If you're watching, I don't mean any ill, obviously. I would never mean ill towards somebody. But I was at home with my baby and my husband was out with our son, and he was buying our daughter her next car seat up. So instead of the convertible one, or is it called the convertible one? Yeah, instead of the infant one, she was going to get the convertible one. This girl had never met my son and never met my husband in real life, I don't think. No, because I only met this girl in person once, and then we've had like an internet relationship since. My husband told me that this person said, hey, so-and-so to my son, and my husband took it as an innocent interaction, but for me, I was creeped out because I was thinking, I'm like, he would think that that's like a trustworthy person. She's a very kind, sweet person. But if it was a bad person, that would be awful. Like, and that in that moment made me still think, well, I don't share my life online, like to any extent, like, because I can't even imagine if this happened. Like, I would be so freaked out if I had like a creepy situation, or if I was like super like famous or something. That'd be so freaking terrifying.
Child at this age, if somebody knows their name, knows their mom's name, knows things about their life, suddenly that potential stranger that could be a very negative person has easily engulfed a child into a false sense of security. That was the flip that switched in my head. And thankfully, I do not use my real name on the internet. My ex-husband doesn't. His girlfriend doesn't. My daughter doesn't for the most part. But still, I saw.
By that means she doesn't share her daughter's last name, but we all know her daughter's first name.
How this could potentially be very scary, especially because as my daughter this is before she was 3, I realized there were going to be situations where I was not present, whether it is at preschool or something. And yeah, I'm not going to be around all the time. It could potentially be a very scary situation. So alarm bells. Number 2 reason, the boom of AI. And this,
I don't care about that. Enough people talk about AI. I don't need to talk about AI. But yeah, so that I really enjoyed that video so much. Do you watch Brittany Balyn? Comment below if you do. I'm interested to see what people's thoughts are about these 2 moms who've decided to take their kids off the internet for the most part. Brittany was saying about earlier in the video that she wouldn't delete her content. And she wasn't clear on why, but then now we learned from Aspen that because of sponsorships is why you can't. But there's really, like, it's your content. You can kind of figure out like what you're going to keep up. Like I would, like I said, email the brand. So not that Brittany or Aspen would ever be watching my videos. I think they need to email those brands and see if they can take their stuff down. But also, like I said, they're not going to, because it's going to take off those millions and millions and millions of views off their channel, right? And the beautiful stats that they have. So that's why they're not going to do it. But did you know, but I don't know if people know this, but if you have YouTube on your computer, you can go in there and you can edit it straight from your YouTube that's already posted. They could just clip things out so that you don't see their daughter. So it will take work, but they can definitely edit their kids out of their content without taking it all down. So maybe they can give that a try. Okay, so this video is way longer than I want it to be. I actually want to share an ABC News video of an influencer who, so I'll sum it up, and then actually I'll just link it below so you can click on it and watch it if you want to. But this influencer mom shared a video of her and her daughter. She did dances and stuff like that. And she said she put her phone down as per usual and then came back 20 minutes later, maybe a couple hours later, sorry. And it had 6 million views and it creeped her out. And then she actually just wiped her daughter completely off her account. Now that is an amazing mom, okay? She wasn't concerned about what was happening. Like, I know, yes, it was on TikTok. TikTok pays a lot less is what I heard. YouTube pays more. But yeah, that's a great move. And a lot more parents should just be taking their kids off the internet. And like, if you're just going to have to figure out a way to make your content that's not about your kids. And it just takes having a personality and just figuring that out and not relying on your kids to be all your content. Brittany Balyn, for example, she's doing so good. Her channel is so good. She's good doing mom tips and everything. You don't see her daughter, you see her blurred in the background sometimes, but like her videos are really good. She tries hard, she works very hard, she gets sponsorships still, so it's possible to be a mom influencer and not use your kids for content. So yeah, I just wanted to give my perspective on different influencers I've not seen talked about, and I really like them. They're both like sweet, I was gonna say innocent, but they're both sweet like influencers and really enjoyable to watch, you know, have the aesthetic. And yeah, I really like watching them. I hope that you like this style of video. It's just something completely different for me. I mean, covering 8 passengers has been different for me, but now like talking right now is completely different. I kind of feel like I'm just like a haze right now. So if this video is weird, I'm sorry. But like my face, I feel like in a complete haze because I've been up the last 4 nights until 4 in the morning, doing my due diligence, researching this case. And then also my daughter is up every 40 minutes nursing. So I am freaking dead, and I have a toddler, so I can't have a nap during the day. So yeah, I'm gonna try to get some sleep tonight, and hopefully I can post this video tomorrow. Oh, I'm gonna have to edit tonight. Oh God. Okay. Well, we'll see what happens. So thank you so much for watching. I appreciate all of you who take time out of your day to like my video, to comment. That helps it get boosted in the algorithm. So I really appreciate it. So yeah, I hope that wherever you are in this world, you are having a fantastic day. Bye guys.